Hey guys, it is me, Victoria, and today I wanted to make a video about 7 things that women are unnecessarily afraid of when it comes to men. Um, I've been thinking a lot about feminism in the news these days, and I am feeling frustrated by the fact that women seem to not realize that they have one option they may have overlooked. That probably sounds like I'm really oversimplifying things, but you'd be amazed sometimes. And that is to speak up and speak their minds unfiltered. And yes, I totally agree, women have been raised to be nice and raised to be basically subservient and submissive, but that doesn't mean that we cannot change things up, find our voice, break our fears of telling it like it is, and talking back to men. So, without further ado, here are the 7 things women are unnecessarily afraid of when it comes to men. Number one thing is hurting men's egos. Okay, a lot of times women talk about the fragile male ego and how they have to kind of feed into the male ego by being like, oh yeah, tell me more. Like, that's so interesting. Meanwhile, they're thinking, oh my god, this guy is so arrogant. Well, you know what? I realized tonight you don't have to feed anyone's fragile ego. You can tell it like it is and repel that person. Okay? There's no reason, outside of a work situation. I'm just talking about in personal life in this situation because I do agree that it's very important to just keep any sort of flirtation out of the workplace. But in the rest of your life, never suffer fools and never just try to pacify someone's ego. Um, just move on. Okay, simple as that. You don't have to be around that person. Number two, catcallers. Women are very afraid of catcallers. They feel very ashamed when a guy catcalls them on the street. Well, you know what? You can talk back to them. If someone's like, hey baby, nice ass, just be like, thanks. Or if you don't want to take that approach and you want to confront them, be like, why did you think it was okay to comment on my ass? Like, that's very rude. Maybe give them a little lesson. Like, you can talk back to them. I do it all the time. The fact you don't have to be scared of them and give them that power. Okay. Number three is telling guys what you like in bed. Yeah, this one really blows my effing mind. Women all the time they're writing about how this guy was a horrible kisser, but they just you know, didn't tell him. I'm like, no, tell him. Just tell him. Seriously, just tell him. Similarly, the guy, didn't care about her orgasm. He finished, and then she was just too embarrassed to do anything about it. Say something. See something. Say something. And the guys, some guys, they'll probably be like, oh my god, no one's ever said that to me before. I'm offended. This isn't gonna work. Okay, good. It's not gonna work. Yay! You don't have to deal with him for the rest of your life. Number four is no reason to be afraid of being called a slut, hoe, whore, stripper, whatever. It's like when you hear those words, just be like, oh, you think I'm a insert here woman who enjoys sex? Thanks for the compliment. Yay! Yay for me, and it sucks to be you. So, whatever. Number five is on a lot of times a date. You don't like the guy straight up, but you end up spending 2 hours with him just so you don't hurt his feelings. No, don't be afraid of this. Telling a guy you want to leave the date 5 minutes in. Just comes down to radical honesty. Be like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I think it's been really interesting talking to you or whatever you actually feel, but I need to go. Like, I just don't think this is gonna work out between us, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. I'm very sorry. Leave within 5 minutes. Done. I've done it. It's a rush. 6, telling a guy that he is mansplaining or manspreading. A lot of times I hear women just be like, I was fuming at this man manspreading on the subway. I'm like, did you ask him if he could close his legs? Or similarly, when a guy is mansplaining, a lot of times women will just be like, oh yeah, it was so frustrating, and I just kind of smiled and nodded. I'm like, hoping that he would realize and get the hint that he was being like super annoying. But I'm like, did you try ever saying to him, excuse me, you are mansplaining right now, and I resent it. I've done it. It's great. And the guy's like, what? What? Mansplaining? Yeah, just tell him he's mansplaining and tell him to stop. Simple as that. And finally, I have here, yes, by being direct and honest with these guys about your true unfiltered feelings, you will educate them, and yes, you will repel some of them. They'll be like, what? You fail to flatter my ego? Like, fuck you. Well, you know what? Like I said before, excellent. You will no longer have a man like that in your life. And by being the kind of person who speaks their mind, you will attract someone like I did who appreciates strong women and has a balanced enough view of women as people. Let me put that better. Like, who respects women enough to not be offended by a woman standing up for herself. Simple as that. So I know this is a controversial topic, and I've oversimplified a lot, and you know all the disclaimers apply. Like, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about, and you feel inspired to stand up for yourself more, and you don't feel like just because you've been raised to be silent, that means that it's impossible to speak up, because it's not. All you have to do is get over the fear, rejection therapy style, just, force yourself to face your fear of speaking up, and from there on out will be a lot easier. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I don't get attacked, but since I have such a small channel, that would actually be great for me. So